you consider working in high ticket sales? Remember that it's 10, 20K US a month working from your computer. You're not working like 40 hours a week usually. It's usually better hours. And time zone is generally flexible. So you can generally work from most countries if you can make the time zones work. Um, I'm just curious if this is actually like what people would want to do.
Mm. Just
Because
looking
like
at the
it's not
yeah,
like endlessly scalable, but I think as a first way to make money online, it's pretty perfect.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I get my first job? Yep, we're going to be talking about that. That's amazing. If you're from Eastern Europe, where can we find these kinds of offers? Yeah, so they're everywhere, man. So in the US, UK, everywhere, like all that you have to be able to uh basically just take into consideration is time zones. And Europe, US, these are all pretty close as well. Just taking a look at the questions.
Are your other clients interested? Yeah, generally the when you hop on a call, the client's already interested, but you can talk about that, Connor, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So just to rehash on that one, guys, people are booking calls in to speak to you. So they're already showing interest in what it is that you offer. How long does it take to make your first 10K? It could be around 90 to 120 days, around that range. It's going to take some serious work, but yeah, like that's typically the range that we look at that. Um, Recorded role plays, yeah, we've got a ton of that type of stuff. How just go and scale behind 100K a month? You can make $100,000 a month in sales, but you wouldn't really want to. That would be pretty hard. I've had mentors that have done that in the past, but yeah, you're going to be pretty exhausted doing 100K a month in commissions, especially if you're in high ticket sales. What the product is, as I mentioned earlier, dating coaching, relationship coaching, crypto coaching, how do I grow my YouTube channel, how do I invest in real estate, really anything that you can think of to better your life, health, wealth, relationships. That's what we're talking about selling. Cool. Do you want to add anything else, Dan, or we're right to move on?
No, that's pretty good. That's solid.
Yep. Just to answer your question, Jose. So how to fit into a 9 to 5, just book calls after. Yeah, so you can start working part-time and cut out your hours at your current 9 to 5 in this way that you can eventually earn enough income to replace your current 9 to 5. So you can work at home, spend more time researching crypto, have more money to put into crypto, travel the world, do that type of stuff. Okay. So let's talk about the 3 skills and getting a job, right? Which is one of the hardest parts of this industry that nobody talks about. But I've been doing this for many, many plus years, so I can be very well educated on the topic and tell you guys you need to know. So if you don't have these 3 skills in combination with sales, you definitely decrease your chance of having a successful long-term career here. So, 3 main mistakes that everybody makes in this industry. And number one, if you listen to what I'm about to say, this mistake can save you 6 figures, multi 6 figures in opportunity costs and probably 5 to 10 grand, right? How can we, with a proven strategy, get to know people in our dream companies so we can increase our chances of an interview by 75 to 95%, right? So we're going to be talking about networking a little bit later on, right? But guaranteed placement, guys, heading this industry, just so you know, guaranteed placement does not guarantee jobs. It doesn't mean guaranteed income, right? There's a lot of people in this industry that will tell you, pay me $5 to $10,000 and I'll guarantee you a job. It's just not the way this industry works, and a lot of beginners end up falling that trap and losing a lot of money. Skill number 2 is offer selections. So screening skills. So not every business in this line of work in this industry is going to make you the money that you guys want. So you need to learn how to effectively pick and choose what type of offers are going to actually make you money, right? This is very, very, very important, right? What do we actually need in an offer to achieve our goals, and what do we need to look for that will waste our time, right? This is simply done by asking 2 questions. What do we want, and does the company align with that? Right? Not just jumping at the first offer that you see, because it can be really exciting. You want to go make a couple $100 to $1,000 per phone call and you just want to dive straight into it, right? Definitely make sure that you're assessing the companies. Now, offer acquisition and interviewing skills is the third and final one. Once we actually land the interview, how do we close the deal? How do we actually get to work with these companies over the thousands of other people that are trying to do this, right? You need to basically get advanced interviewing skills. So, what are the three things every employee will be asking themselves about you and why? Number one, are you capable, right? Can you do the job? Number two, will you do the job, right? Do they trust you to do the job? And then finally, do they want you to do the job? So reliability, likability, and capability. Really straightforward. So when you learn the right skills to interview correctly, this is how you're going to look in compared to your competition. There's a lot of people teaching this. There's a lot of people that are trying to get in this industry, right? When you understand these skills, you stand out like a sore thumb, right? You are the best in the industry, and I can guarantee you that from being in here a long time, you need to have these skills, right? If you don't, you're going to look like the sea of other clones of people that are trying to get in this industry but can't. If you do what other struggling people do, you will struggle. Simple as. Okay. So to give yourself the best chance of success for these interviews, you should be extremely over prepared for these interviews. A lot of salespeople don't really prepare, and if they do, they barely try. And this is a golden opportunity that we can take advantage of, right? We may very well be going into an interview as not the most talented or experienced, right? You guys might be worried about that. What happens if I have no experience, right? You need to have the right skills to influence and persuade companies so that you can work with them regardless of your experience, right? It's really important. We need to focus on what we can control. We need to go into every single interview that we take as the most prepared candidate. So each opportunity is going to be different. So it gives us a key advantage over the general salesperson who just comes to interviews prepared for the generic interview. Trust me, guys, I've seen salespeople in this industry that are very skilled, but can't interview for shit. And if you can learn the right skills to sell yourself, no matter sales, whatever it is, you're never going to have to worry about being employed the rest of your life. And especially if you want to get remote work, once you have that skill, you're pretty much sorted, right? So if you're going to research the company, really straightforward, go to the Google, look at the website, look at the core values of the company, pay attention to any language used in the marketing material, look for the vision, the mission, the language that they use. Other times, values are going to be keywords in the text. Listen to podcasts of the founder, go to the website, look at their socials. I'm looking to get anything I can learn about the company, basically. Any information is valuable information here. The owner is the guy or the gal who instills a lot of values in the company. So start there. You want to put yourself in the shoes of the person hiring. So what would I look for? What's most important to me? What would I want to hear as an employer? Right? What does a successful applicant look like to me? Right? That's interviewing. Now, you guys are probably wondering, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of people that are trying to do this in this industry. How do you actually have a competitive advantage and land jobs in this industry compared to everybody else? What I'm about to teach you, I've heard nobody talk about, right? It's like the industry's best guarded secret, right? And so when you understand this, no matter what industry, right, you will be able to find jobs and get jobs over the most prepared and experienced candidates in any industry, any economy, I can guarantee you, right? Definitely up to you, Frank, to find the companies, right? You got to find a list of companies and you're going to go through the process that I'm about to mention here. But as I'm sure you guys are aware, the internet has made it far more easier and accessible than ever to find and apply for jobs, right? It makes it harder to get hired through traditional methods. We're talking about job posts, recruiters, Facebook groups, filling out applications, sending off resumes. You guys are all probably used to doing that at some point in your life, right? If we run some of the general numbers and statistics I've found with a quick Google search, there's an average of 350 applicants per job post. It's all about how you look on paper. There's literally AI bots and softwares that disqualify you based off your resumes that you put in. 75 to 85% of applications aren't even seen or read by humans. And 5 to 7 months on average, it takes to land a job when spending 11 hours a week. So 220 to 308 hours total. I'm going to teach you how you can do it in the next 30 to 60 days, right? So in 2024, the worst way to land a role in this industry is by far going through cold DMs, right? Every marketer talks about them online. Everybody teaches it. I'm going to tell you a secret. It doesn't work. I tried it when I first started this industry, and it took me a very long time to figure it out and crack the code of this. And trust me, this has given the best results I've ever seen in the market by light years, right? I've seen guys go from absolutely zero experience to making 10K a month within 3 months using this strategy, right? So let's skip down here. So yeah, if you want a job with a multi-millionaire, you're not going to walk up to them in the street and just say, "Do you have any jobs? Are you hiring?" Right? "Do you need a high ticket closer?" Right? Nobody's going to say that. That's never going to work, and you should understand that, right? It wouldn't make sense. So why would someone super successful give you the time of day and hand you the leads that they've paid possibly hundreds or thousands just for a book call, right? They have no idea who you are. They don't like you. They don't trust you. It makes absolutely zero sense, right? So the reason most people can't find a job in this industry is they're using tired and old, outdated methods that worked 5 years ago, right? They didn't even work very well back then. Success leaves clues, right? Just as you guys follow Dan in crypto, he's successful with crypto. I'm successful with high ticket sales. Do what successful people do, right? I want you to consider the situation. Let's imagine you're the best salesperson in the world, but you have no leads that you're selling to, right? And you can't land a good opportunity for the life of you. You can't find them. You can't close them. You don't even know what to look for in an offer that's going to make you good money in the first place, right? It's really important that you develop these skills. So I had spent over $40,000 on sales training at this point. It's 55 now, but back then I'd gotten really good, right? Work with some of the best sales trainers and salespeople on the planet, in my opinion. And I'd learned from the very best. And they told me I was good, but I couldn't surpass $12,000 a month. Some of you, that might sound crazy, but I wanted to hit 20, 25, $30,000 a month with this skill. Then it finally hit me. I looked back on what had made me so successful over the past 4 years in this industry. How had I gotten every job? It was through networking. This was the key to literally everything. I want you guys to understand the statistics here of the who you know numbers. As you guys would know, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, right? That goes for any industry. Research from LinkedIn shows that a whopping 70% of people were hired at a company where they already had a connection in place, right? The more desirable companies, it was 95%, right? Job posts, LinkedIn, right? All that type of stuff, surveys, it's just not going to work to get you your dream job in high ticket sales. So essentially, to put yourself light years ahead of your competition, this is the process that I use with myself and all my clients to land the best offers in the industry that can pay you anywhere between $8,000 to $30,000 a month. Okay. Step one, set a goal, right? What hours do you want to work? In what position? Do you want to work as a setter or as a closer? How much money do you want to make? Do you want to work a fixed schedule or a flexible schedule, right? Do you want time for trading crypto? What is it that you actually want? Do you want to work for a certain industry, right? It should look like this. I want to work as a closer, part-time, working flexible hours in this industry, making 8K a month. Super simple, right? Everything starts with a goal. Step two, you're going to build a list, right? You're going to go out and hunt for your dream companies you want to work for and find the sales reps that are connected to that company, right? You can find them through LinkedIn, Facebook, Google. Remember, in this process, you're not asking for a job. You're not doing that here. All you want to do is connect with individuals of the company that you want to work for, right? While to highlight on that point, Daniel, how did you actually end up getting your first high ticket sales gig?
Networking. It's actually true. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I was just thinking that when I heard you say networking because I got the gig basically within a network that I was in. Networking. I was in a network online, and they basically put a post out saying we need people for this certain role. And because I was in the network where they posted for the role, I was one of the only. There's not many people in this group, right? I was just like the closest person, and they picked me because I was in this network. I was already sort of known to the guys that wanted someone to hire, and it was just pretty easy. And it's like you said, networking it's not what you know, it's who you know. People for certain roles are picked on a proximity basis more than a skill basis. It's more like who's the closest